What is going on, explorers? We are back with another episode today. But before I get into that, let me go ahead and play the intro music. What is up, explorers? Before this episode begins, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check the link in the description below. Take you directly to our Patreon if you would like to support. You could support us for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. That's it. So if you'd like to support, make sure you go ahead, go to the Patreon link in the description below, and enjoy the episode. Peace.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are Chez Dante. And today, we got a special episode because we got a guest.
Hello.
We got a surprise guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself while I deal with this.
Hey, everybody. My name's Art. Some people call me Art the Boy.
Art the Boy. All right. So, Art the Boy, you're out here, you're shooting video, you have your camera out there.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it. Like, how did you start doing video?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started doing video because I needed to make music videos.
Ooh, come on in.
Come on in.
Hey, what up, Vaughn? Wait, I have something for this. Did it play? No. Yeah, we got the guest appearance, Vaughn. Oh, nice. We literally just went live. Do you want to come say hi to the cameras? So you started. You can literally
for sure.
leave it there. Just this camera here, if you want to. There you go. So you had to do music videos.
Yeah, so like I was kind of like born in Mississauga and then kept moving south until I made it to Hamilton. Okay. So like I never knew a lot of people that made videos.
Yeah.
And I was making
Did you pass
music.
through Milton at all?
No, I haven't actually. I've worked in Milton a couple times because I was doing landscaping and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's a land to scape.
Yeah, there's many lands over there. But yeah, like I just needed somebody to do it and nobody did it, so I had to do it myself. Yeah. So I just made my own like weird music videos and
so you started because you making music initially and then you needed a music video.
Exactly.
And then you're like, well, no one else here does videos. So then you had to do it yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
That's interesting because that's almost similar to like what Vaughn was saying, because he was saying he was doing, what was he doing? Well, basically he was doing like his clothing stuff and his brand stuff, and then he needed someone to take pictures for his like websites or whatever. And he's like, man, no one takes pictures. So then he started taking his own pictures. All right. So you started doing your own music videos. How did that go? Are they still up on YouTube?
Yeah. I mean, like most of my stuff is just, you could search Art the Boy, like no spaces and find everything. But, I'm
gonna pull it up.
Oh man. But yeah, like, a lot of those early music videos are there. And,
that's not YouTube.
Yeah, that's the other video vibe now.
Right.
But so a lot of those earlier music videos are there. And basically through that, like I went to university and like a professor like liked my music and music videos and stuff.
Nice.
And then kind of gave me a little break and gave me some opportunities. And
what kind of break was it?
It was just like I got a job as a research assistant for a couple of years.
Is this you here?
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, I'm going to pull it up for the stream.
Oh, shit.
Where do I go to do this? Is it over here?
I hope there's not a lot of mouth clicking noises from my mic.
That's okay. It's like, honestly, like a lot of the other podcasts, I find maybe they might be a little bit overproduced and stuff. Oh, turn it back off.
There you go. That's me.
I'm literally doing this as we speak, but so like a lot of the other podcasts are like overproduced, and I find that it kind of takes away from the experience. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
there's like a whole studio, some podcasts have an audience now and stuff like that. All right, so let's go through it.
Let's check it out.
Let me just fix this whole thing. Like I said, I should have did this beforehand, but I didn't know I was gonna be doing this. But it adds to the flavor of the podcast, I find. And so this is your first YouTube channel, or you have multiple ones?
I mean, I had this since I was like,
okay.
since I was like before high school, probably. I just
Okay.
like held on to it for a while and like just changed its name a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a bunch of, I don't even know, like it's kind of like my dumping ground where I
Okay.
do like serious music shit and then I do like YouTuber-y stuff.
Yeah.
So I have like, if you look, what's it called, at like the like most recent 3 videos, it's like a perfect example. I'm
Okay,
just like,
so you got your lo-fi. Wow.
yeah, so it's kind of like the most recent video. Yeah, there you go.
This is sick. I totally forgot the speaker was behind me. I'm like, where's this vibe coming from? Wow. I like this. Wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
No, this is really good. I like this. I like the cleanness of it, right? So you have like the aesthetic, but it's like a clean aesthetic, right?
Oh, yeah.
And this is what I wanted to talk to you about before with the camera before we set it up. But like with my camera here, right, I still have like, simple kit lens and all that stuff. So I've been thinking like, maybe I should change up the aesthetic just a little bit and get like a film lens and just toss it on there and just, leave it as is,
Yeah, that's how you do it really. Like the main goal for me is I try to make everything look like a short film.
Yeah.
So the way you get that is with vintage lenses and stuff.
Yeah. So, so why short films? Like why every?
It's just like the aesthetic of them. Like I really like, I come from trying to make music videos.
Yeah.
And essentially they're like, all music videos are like short films. Really.
Yeah.
And they use like the top kind of like Arri Alexa cameras and stuff like that to get that vibe. And up until recently, we couldn't do that. Just regular people.
I know.
Because they're
right?
like $30,000 cameras.
Yeah.
But like companies now like Blackmagic make like, they designed really cheap cinema cameras because they needed cameras to put in cars to crash and explode.
That's what it was for?
Yeah.
That
So
like the rig cameras, they started with that.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, they're called crash cameras. And essentially it just made the production of like cinema cameras and like the cinema sensors really cheap. And then
They're like, we got to accommodate for Michael Bay. He's blowing up 30 cameras a scene.
yeah, basically there's the original, like I'm a Blackmagic fanboy, but the original Blackmagic pocket camera was actually like, it was cutting between that and like a $30,000 like Arri Alexa camera. And like people couldn't tell the difference. They just need a small camera for like inside of a limousine sort of shot.
Yeah. How much was that one? If it's in between, like it's a pocket one, but it's in between the 30,000, like 3,000.
It's kind of crazy now. Like when they were initially selling it, I think it was like $1,000.
Okay,
MSRP.
wow, that's pretty good. That's cheaper than what I got.
I know, right? I know. And the thing is, like, people complain about the cinema cameras because you need to get like, there's no autofocus and like you have to get like the big ass batteries.
Yeah.
Like the audience can't see, but I have my camera rolling right now and has a big like 10-pound battery in the back and all this other stuff, and you have to put a cage. But it's like a labor of love sort of thing. It just looks so much better.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the camera body is $1,800, and like when you're comparing it to Sony cameras, especially the same kind of 4K cameras that can shoot.
Like the price point, like the same range type.
Yeah, it's essentially the same, and like you get a lot of bang for your buck. You just have to like manually focus. That's the trade-off.
So manually focused. So that's manually focused over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, if you have like an electronic lens, you can like spot focus. So press a button once and it focuses it for you.
Yeah.
But it's not continuous. Like Sony's autofocus is like amazing. You can just like move around. I don't know like how good this camera autofocus is, but I'm assuming it's good.
I turned it off. Like,
oh, nice. Okay.
Sometimes it does. Like when I first started, like I said, iterative. So like when I first started doing it, I had it on autofocus, and it was good. The only thing is like, sometimes it would just decide to focus on other things.
Oh, yeah.
Because I move around so much, it's like focus
You just
on
put your
this.
like hand out and just
Yeah,
focus
and then
right on that.
sometimes it would just just not be focused. So now I just figured, once again, put on autofocus and just focus it and then forget it. All right, so you were doing the YouTube, you're doing the music videos. Tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel. You said you're doing tech reviews and gadget reviews. Like, what led you to that? Is it obviously you're interested in it, or
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm into a lot of random things. I guess like from music, I got in a weird like hipster stream of music called Vaporwave.
Oh, I love Vaporwave.
And like you have to like the real people in the scene like do stuff with actual tapes, like tape decks and stuff like that.
Yes.
And like if you ever try to do stuff with like analog gear, it always like breaks.
Yes.
So I had to like learn how to like fix it and then learn like more analog gear, like instead of just like making music in the computer.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a bunch of beat machines and like weird things like what's the best thing to buy, because I can't just buy everything.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was doing weird stuff on my YouTube. Like I even like built a cello out of like a chair leg.
Really?
Yeah, you just like get a cello, or you get a chair leg, you break the chair, you get the longest legs, glue them together, do a bunch of like woodworking and sanding, and then buy like.
Would you say you're like? Sorry to cut you off, but you seem
No
like
worries.
you're like you're creative, but you're creative in like all facets. You know what I mean? It's like you.
What was that? Maybe a phone.
Oh, there's a phone.
I see.
Boxes. But like you're doing woodworking, you're doing videography, and you're doing music. Like I find that that's like, 3 different areas of creativity. But it seems like you're kind of in all of them. Like how does that help you like, do your videos or do your music? Do you find that like when you're doing these things, you take skills from one place and then you bring it to the other?
100%.
Yeah.
Everything, it's kind of crazy because I guess it's like our generation. Like we have all this knowledge.
Yes.
And at least most of us don't have a lot of money. So the best kind of way to circumvent all those limitations is just learn how to do everything.
Yeah.
And then you could learn just enough to get you by on like something.
Yes.
And it takes you maybe like 3 days to like learn how to sand something.
Yeah.
And then you could just do it for that one project and then just kind of like let it die. Or like if you really like it, like a lot of certain things I like really got into, like cameras, for instance, right? It could lead to like your day job, and then you could use that skill to like cover your expenses and then like make more music, which is like my main.
So are you still working on music? Like, do you still write music? And
Oh yeah,
you produce?
a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's something like I know a lot of musicians. It's how I like got my start in like the Hamilton scene.
Yeah.
But they're all like indie kids and like people that are really trying to get their bands on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just the kind of person that just made it in the background.
Okay.
Like a lot of people, like I don't even think I mentioned it to Dope Chief or anybody that I made music.
That you made music.
Yeah, it's just kind of something I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's cool because to me it's like a journaling kind of thing. Like at least I think most people who journal, somebody's popular.
Someone's blinging Bond's hotline.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like I just don't talk about it that much. I mean, I'm sure my friends are, if they're watching this, are probably like rolling their eyes and they're just like, yeah, right, you fucking don't talk about it. But like for most people, like I don't talk about it like at work or like
It's hard to talk about those things, like especially like because I used to work a corporate job, right? And like, while I was doing the corporate job, I would also do live streaming and then be like, what is live streaming? Like you're playing video games live and people are just watching you. Like, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Why would I sit down and watch other people play the game? And then I'm like, why would you sit down and watch people play football? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
the difference?
Go and play football. Yeah. The old fogies trying to.
Yeah. So it's like, it is really hard to talk about those kind of art things that you kind of just do for yourself that are on the side. Do you have like in your music, do you have like Vaporwave inspirations? Like, do you have like specific artists that you like, man, like this guy's Vaporwave is fire?
100%. It was like a really interesting like I used to hate the 80s. I used
Really?
to hate the 80s
Were you
because
born
my
in the
dad.
80s?
No. Yeah, I was born in 97, but
Hey, 97
oh,
gang.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh, lit. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'm normally like a year older than everybody I know.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm usually younger than everybody. I
Oh,
know.
interesting.
I know a lot of old. Like I said, I worked in the corporate world, so everyone's
Yeah.
old as hell in the corporate world.
Makes sense. Yeah, but where were we again? Like,
Inspirations, Vaporwave.
oh yeah, the 80s. Yeah. So my
80s.
dad loved the 80s. He had like a huge record collection. And I guess being just like a rebellious kid, I hated it.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't live with my dad anymore, but I guess it's kind of like something that's stuck in a weird way. Like he
Yeah.
loved Prince and like Michael Jackson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are my big kind of
Yeah.
takeaway artists
Yeah.
from the 80s.
Yeah.
But he also like Color Me Bad and like all the R&B stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay.
And now I can appreciate it.
And so, do you like incorporate that sort of like '80s feel, especially in like synthwave? It's very '80s esque. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the whole point of it. It's like '80s action theme type soundtrack music.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
you're hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, like it's so funny because like even when you're into film, like the 80s is such an important time to pay attention to because it was the start of like there's like this I don't think it was the 80s, but the Sony Portapack was like the first like video camera people had access to.
Really?
And then like after more like VHS cameras started like proliferating into like short films and stuff, and then you get all the 80s action movies.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
where I'm like an '80s action. type
exactly, and like that whole aesthetic, it's like it just is
stuck.
all
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
for me in synthwave and like vaporwave music, like it's a huge study of that
What
stuff.
is the difference between synthwave and vaporwave?
Oh,
is
it's
it,
huge.
Is it the synth?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. I might get crucified for making that
sorry.
comparison.
Something you should talk about.
No. It's totally fine. No, synthwave, aka outrun and stuff like that. It's kind of like you're in the 80s, like you're
Okay.
trying to be the 80s, and
Okay.
vaporwave is like you're in a technological graveyard, junkyard,
got you.
and you're trying to like use all the
So vaporwave, you would describe it as say you went into like a Radio Shack,
Yeah.
and then that would be like vaporwave.
100%.
But say you go, I don't know what's 80s. Say you go watch like fucking what's his name, David Hasselhoff. Is that the 80s? That's the 80s guy, right?
I mean, he was definitely alive in the 80s.
Yeah. So say you watch Knight Rider. That's synthwave as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
A good way of thinking about it is if it's an 80s utopia, it's synthwave. If it's an 80s dystopia,
Okay.
like Mad Max-ish,
Yeah.
it's vaporwave.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like you're in the video game or you're playing the video game sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like a quote from somebody. But I don't
That's
know.
a good way of putting it. Like now that I'm thinking of it, it does seem like, because when you see like vaporwave aesthetics and stuff like that, you see like, you know, Windows XP and like just like broken screens. People, you know, they do like the whole, it's all like blue, teals,
Oh, yeah.
pinks, and like all those colors, and then they throw like the Arizona can in there
Yeah.
for some reason. And
Hamilton City Center vibe. Rest in peace.
oh yeah, do you know what they're doing with that?
Condos.
Condos? Boo.
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be like condos and then like shops in the bottom or something.
Okay. I mean, so they're gonna just build condos on top of the mall, basically.
I think so, yeah. I mean, like, who knows what they're gonna do, but that's what I hear.
Yeah. Interesting.
Nice. We're like covering a lot of ground with this episode.
No, that's what I was saying. You go all over the place. You know, I always say like, well, okay. So my intro that I played is like, there's no limits. Like you just go further than what you expected,
Nice.
or like what other people expect of you, right? So, you know, when we have these conversations and we're talking, and then you go down like, oh, okay, vaporwave, and then for me, it's like 30 other questions come into my mind. I'm like, oh, like I want to ask like, you know, 20 different things. So that's kind of
Nice.
how we get so deep down this road. I do want to go back to, you know, filmmaking and stuff.
Yep.
Because I started out I started out not doing music videos, but I actually started out doing short films.
Nice.
So that's how and funny enough, I started doing short films when I was like really young, just to like put them on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
So like it was probably like 2006, 2007.
Damn.
I started doing like just short films to just throw them up on YouTube, and it's so funny. Do you remember like when you first found YouTube? Like,
Oh yeah,
do you
like
remember?
I actually know the video. So like
Really?
you know
Can
the
we pull it up?
rocking, yeah, for sure.
All right, let's pull it up.
But it's that
love
rocking chair horror movie or rocking
jump
chair
scare
thing. Yeah,
one?
the jump scare.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm not pulling that up. That's bad omen. I'm not pulling that up. You crazy?
Yeah, that was the first video, and then Ryan Higa.
Okay,
like How to Be Ninja and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No,
And-
I remember this around that same time, and it's so funny. My dad actually found YouTube. Well, actually, he heard of YouTube.
Yeah.
And then we tried to find it together.
Nice.
He's like, my dad's like big into anime and stuff like that. So
Nice.
He came back from work one time. He's like, "Hey, Dante, I found this. Someone told me this website where you can watch Naruto online."
That's actually so sick.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's called YouTube or something." So then we tried typing it in. We couldn't find it. Like, could you imagine a time you
Oh
couldn't
my
even
God.
find YouTube? Like, we typed it in wrong.
Yeah, and that was before all the DMCA stuff.
Yeah,
So you could
wait.
listen to any music you wanted. It
Yeah.
was the Wild West.
Yeah, people were uploading full episodes of Naruto on there. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I watched like, man, are we gonna start talking about anime now?
We can go down there.
I watched like basically all of Bleach.
Really?
On YouTube in like a cropped, like how when they started getting into it, they had to
Yeah.
like crop it weirdly.
Yeah, and then they had to put like the triangles in the
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you watched? Wait, how many episodes is in Bleach?
Oh, it was a lot.
On
It was a
YouTube?
lot. Oh yeah.
Was your algorithm just all Bleach videos now?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this was like, oh my goodness, man, like 2010 to 12.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Are you a big anime guy? Do you incorporate anime into your music?
Not so much anymore. Like anime was like a high school thing for
Okay.
me. Yeah, I watched a bit of like, it's so weird. Like I was obsessed with it, and then there was a moment where it was like, okay, anime's not cool, and then like COVID made anime cool again, and I kind of like lost it when everybody was like, whenever I mentioned anime, like
Yeah.
I just got clowned. So I was just like,
the trick
fuck
is to
that.
never mention it.
Exactly.
You just keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
Dude.
So what I used to do in high school, it's a funny story because there was an anime club.
Yes.
And it was like the usual kind of suspects were there.
Yes.
And I was kind of like just a regular neutral sort of kid.
Yes.
I went to like the first day of anime club every year because they gave you like a Crunchyroll login. And then I like got it and dipped.
That's so
And never
funny.
talked to anybody in the club.
So you're just there for the Netflix password.
Exactly. Legit. And like, it was so funny because it was like the shared account.
Yeah.
And like you saw when people were watching stuff. And if you like, normally there was like, oh, continue watching.
Yeah.
Like you just had to remember the episode you were on. Because like immediately when you like refresh the page, like there's like 20 episodes that just like go by.
So you'd have to like write it down. Like, okay, episode 382.
Exactly.
Minute 25.
Yeah, I was really good at the recall.
Did you do any like sports or anything in high school? Were you doing like film stuff in high school?
I was kind of like a music-y kid in high school, but something I was into was like martial arts and stuff like that. Go
Really?
figure, kind of like related to anime in a way.
UFC 284. No, go ahead.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah, like I mean, I was kind of into like my dad's Filipino, so he's like huge like
Manny
martial
Pacquiao fan?
arts kind of lover guy.
Yeah.
He liked Bruce Lee and stuff.
Okay.
So like he signed me up to do like Wing Chun.
Okay.
Bruce Lee's
Yep.
first martial
Yep,
art.
I know it.
So like I did that throughout high school basically.
Really?
Yeah. And yeah.
How did? Let me ask you, because I was having this conversation earlier today. But like, when you're in high school and you're doing like the martial arts training, did it give you like a next level of confidence when you're like walking through the halls? Like, I bet no one in this hallway knows Wing Chun like I know Wing Chun.
I mean,
Did you feel that way?
I was kind of like, I was like a really angry kid.
Okay.
In high school, like, I guess martial arts and stuff, and sports in general, they just kind of make you socialized a little bit better. I remember before I was kind of like awkward and like
Yeah.
couldn't really talk to people, but then you just become friends with like confident, like alpha type
Yeah,
individuals.
like the teammates, yeah.
Yeah. So it just makes you very, I don't know, like it makes it easier to talk to people. It never really made me feel like, yo, I'm hot shit. I can fight people.
Hot shit, but like, cause I think about like, you know, like even later today, I'm actually gonna do like a boxing class with like Vaughn and them. So
Oh, nice.
We're gonna go check it out. But
Where is this?
Soy Dog MMA, I believe. SOI Dog, just down the street.
That's crazy.
But like, I think about like, you know, I've had a little bit of training. Right?
Nice.
So like, it doesn't make me, you know, super boisterous or cocky or whatever. But then like, there are people that walk around with no training whatsoever. And it's like, dang, like, you know, like not even that, but it's like, they don't know anything.
Yeah, true.
You know, like wouldn't you be a little bit nervous if you didn't know anything? Like,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I know like one thing that I have is like, I'm able to size like people up. Like, obviously it's like, you never know, like if somebody's like just super like amazing at fighting or whatever. Yeah. But at least I know like, man, like I kind of know how much it would hurt if I got punched by this person. Yes. So it's like, I kind of operate differently. I kind of just know those kinds of things.
Do you use that to like avoid like specific like conflicts? Not really conflict, but it's like, okay, this guy, you look at him and it's like, okay, I don't even want to just.
I don't even want to try it.
You don't want to try nothing. Just I'm not even gonna bother. You know.
I mean, at the end of the like, to be honest, I feel like I get in less like aggressive confrontations now. Yeah. Before, like when I was like really kind of insecure, awkward kid, like I used to like always like mouth off in like high school, and the more I learned, it just like made me like more mature. I don't really have a better word for that, but like. Yeah, like it makes me feel very, I don't know, like it made me more respectful in a way. So I'm not even in those kinds of situations.
Yeah, I get it because you understand like the violence, right? So it's like, you respect the violence, you know what I mean?
100%.
It's like, okay, you might as well just take it easy. You don't need to mouth off because you understand that people can
exactly
mosh your stuff up. No, 100%. What is a reoccurring idea or thought that you've been having over the past like couple of months? Like, have you been pondering about like, for me, like I've been thinking about like habits in general. So like, do you have anything that you've been pondering or thinking on? Hey explorers, Dante here. Just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below if you would like to support. You could support the Patreon for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. So if you like to support the message, the platform, the page, go ahead and click the description below. Back to the episode.
Man, this is a huge left turn, but like everything is a computer. That's my new thesis for everything.
Everything is a computer. I have a similar theory. Mine's a little bit simpler though. Okay. My theory is everything is a circle.
Interesting.
But I want to hear your computer theory.
I mean,
I study computers. So.
See both? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Computer networking and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You going for your like Cisco cert and stuff? Yeah, that's cool.
The anxiety. Don't even like. don't bring up CCNAs or anything. Dude.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, I started. Man, I don't even know why this started, but I guess like there's the simplest way to start explaining this is basically, I guess like the AI thing started, and like we got little inklings of it, and now it's like a big thing now.
Okay.
And I just have like ever since COVID started, I'm like, hey, I need a good hobby that doesn't make me burn out on my other hobbies.
Yes.
So I just do like courses. Now that I'm out of school, like
have courses.
Yeah.
Really?
So I do like Udemy courses and just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I started learning Python and like a bunch of other stuff, C++. And from that point, I'm like, man, this is kind of relates to everything I do, like in terms of like music. There's codes and like tricks and
Yes.
and a kind of like dance you have to do.
Yes.
It's kind of like a language. And
Well, it is a language. You have
exactly, and
Python, C++.
100%. And that
all
just
stuff.
relates to music. And then there's different things like, I don't know, everything to do with the computer relates to like music. Cause like there's a bunch of computer related software with music and MIDI and like
Yep.
interfaces with Arduinos and
Okay.
all this stuff is like
Yeah.
interconnected in a weird way. And it kind of relates to with like wider society. And
Okay.
like, and I don't mean that in like cerebrally. I mean like everything we need to use is
Okay.
computer based.
So everything we need to use, well, like, cause like, would you consider this table a computer?
Well, like this table is probably like CNC'd.
It might be CNC'd, but is it a computer?
Is it a computer? No, but like, I don't know. Like,
I understand what you're trying to see, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll explain my theory,
Okay.
and maybe it might be the same theory, because the reason I say everything is a circle is, well, first, it's the way I say is like everything is a circle. So a circle has an infinite amount of sides.
Yeah.
Right. So technically, everything, the word everything or everything that exists is a circle because they're both infinite. Right. So that's my first spot. Right. So I kind of see everything as infinite, which is once again why the intro of the thing is like you go further, because infinite has no end. So you just go further and further and further. Right. So the reason I say everything is a circle is because I believe everything to be everything. Right. So like this table we call it a table, but technically it's not a table.
Yeah.
Technically it's this tree that was cut down in 1945. It's this metal that was dug out of the ground and whenever.
Yeah.
Right. But we just label it as a table today. But say I even like flipped it upside down and I hung a shirt on it. Now it's a clothing rack. It's not even a table anymore.
That's some sign and signifier stuff right there.
Well, this is the thing when you because I did like coding and stuff as well. So now I think of like, I think in if statements.
Yeah.
If this, then that. Right. So if this is a circle, then so now I go around which is why I think everything can be a computer is because
Oh man.
everything is almost processing. Like everything is processing everything. Like I think the way the universe works is like, even though we can't perceive it, like everything's connected in a way that we just can't tell.
Yeah.
Right. So like the way this computer is connected to this iPhone via the Wi-Fi, we know the Wi-Fi is there. We just can't see it.
Yeah.
So I think there's some sort of connection between that window here and this cup. Oh, my tea.
Hey.
Maybe that's what the connection is supposed to remind me that I've got my tea here.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. But like, so I just think it's like an infinite amount of possibilities, and because everything is infinite, everything is a circle. So that's kind of my theory.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, like I kind of see that too. Like my kind of weird theory or like idea lately was like, I could see the inputs and outputs of everything we do.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And like the effort you put in time, like when you wake up and you're just like, oh, should I make a coffee?
Yep.
And then like you move your hand wrong and then you like spill something and you're just like, dang, like
Yeah.
I just caused myself a bunch of work.
Yes.
And it requires this to fix that.
If this, then that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Or there's if this, then this, and this. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things. So I do see, and also when you look at it at like a macro scale, right?
Yeah.
Like on a bigger scale, you can kind of see the same thing, like how you're talking when it comes to like different cities. So like, if this city wins the Super Bowl, then this, they're going to go out the streets and flip the cars and, just random stuff like that. But it's almost like they're running scripts. There's just scripts running everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're just living a giant for loop forever.
Yeah. Forever.
Forever. The for loop of forever.
Maybe this is another thing I think about. Like the idea of a for loop has to come from somewhere. Are we in the master for loop?
Yeah, we're in the basically, yeah. Like, I mean, like besides just like regular day cycles and stuff like that, the fact that like everything kind of revolves around circles or like loops in a way,
Yeah.
like whether it's like gravity literally not being up and down, it's just always going around, like when things orbit stuff, or time not like proceeding forward, but like kind of doing like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man, dude, we're kind of we're promise we're not lit right now.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
No, but and this is one of the reasons why I like doing this podcast, because you get to have these conversations where you just go deep and explore like these different ideas. You know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that you mentioned how the planets orbit in a circle.
Yeah.
Right. So once again, like, when you look at it at an even bigger scale, because are you familiar with the 7 Hermetic principles?
No. Enlighten me.
Okay. So the 7 Hermetic principles, basically, I mean, I don't know how far back I want to go, but this is like one of the original like 10 commandments. Like, this supersedes the 10 commandments.
Okay, it kind of sounds familiar, but continue.
So basically, the first one is like, everything is mind, all is mind, right? So, like how you're saying everything is a computer, technically everything is a mind, which would make everything a computer. I don't think there's much of a difference between a computer and a mind. They do the same things. This just doesn't work.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Continue.
So the first one, actually, let me pull up my Instagram, because I did a little something on it, and then we'll end it there, because it's been going a while. But the 7 Hermetic principles. The first one is all is mind, right? Mentalism.
The second, damn. Right? A whole carousel?
Yeah. I'm
nice.
Iterative. I'm testing stuff out. All right. Correspondence, as above, so below. So the circles you see on the smallest scale happen at the biggest scale as well. So the circles you see of the planets orbiting the sun, you see, how do I put it?
Like electrons and...
Exactly. Literally. Exactly. You have your electrons, your protons, your whatever orbiting the nucleus, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So it's fractal, right? So that's the second thing. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Number 3, vibration. Everything moves. Nothing is at rest.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning everything's a vibe. Everything's legit a vibe. And you can tune into these specific vibes, I believe, right? Just like how you can tune into specific Wi-Fi frequency, you can tune into a specific energy frequency. Like, you can tune into the happy frequency, the sad frequency. If, you can tune into the I'm getting fucking jacked today frequency. You know what I mean? Like, these are all different vibes you can hop into. Next, polarity. All things are dual. All opposites are reconciled, meaning there's a good and there's a bad side of things, right? But it's all just one scale. Good and bad are not 2 separate things. It's the same thing, just... maybe good is 500 bads, or maybe bad is negative 500 goods, but it's all the same unit.
Like, yeah. I see what you're saying.
So that's polarity. And what is the last one? Rhythm, the ebb and flow of the all. So everything is just doing this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Some things they do it faster, some things they do it slower. And cause and effect. This is what you're talking about.
Oh, no.
Right? Cause and effect. Everything happens according to law. So you do something happens. You light something on fire, it burns. You inhale, you exhale. Like, all these things happen.
Nice.
And then all things have feminine and masculine elements, which is interesting because, once again, when you look at it through the lens of correspondence, right? The cause is the masculine, and the effect is the feminine.
Interesting.
Or even like, actually, no, that's kind of a lie. I think the way I look at it is you do a specific action, which is the masculine and the feminine. And then the outcome would be like the baby of that action you took. So the outcome would be the effect. So, okay, let me rephrase it now.
Okay.
Say the male end of things would be me picking up this laptop and then like holding it up and then dropping it, right? But me picking up and holding it and then dropping it, that's the masculine and the feminine, because it's like the action as well, right? So it's the 2 things come together, and then you have the effect of when you drop it and then your laptop's all fucked up. So, you know, like these are like, you know, the 7 Hermetic principles, which come from Thoth, the Atlantean, you know, take that as you will. I don't know if you believe in Atlantis or not. I'm leaning towards Atlantis as being a real place. Like I'm
Nice.
like this close.
Hey, I'm not somebody to say that things exist or don't exist. So
Ooh, how come?
because like I'm not paid enough to know.
And this is my problem. I'm not paid enough to do all this research, but yet here I am figuring out, you know, where's Thoth from? Is there really an Atlantis? You know,
I think they're okay. This is completely what's it called? Not off topic, but it's like another one of those like crazy
Tangents?
left turns.
Yep.
So okay, in the Vaporwave albums that I make, I collect a lot of like old cassette audio books,
Ooh, sick.
right? And one of them is a lecture on Atlantis.
ooh, by
And
who?
that
Do you know?
I have no idea.
Can you send that to me if
Yeah,
you
I'll
find
just
it?
I'll give it to you.
Okay, sweet.
if I can find it.
Yeah.
But basically, one of the songs I just like cut like this guy saying like, "So I ask you, audience, do you believe in Atlantis?" and stuff like that. And the whole thing is literally like a historical recounting on like Atlantis and like what the story's based on and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I need to find it.
Yeah, look for it because that's super fascinating. I think I think this is one of the things right here. Ebb and flows right here. I think we have an ebb
yeah.
and flow of societies, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
society will show up and disappear. So who's to say Atlantis didn't show up and disappear?
100%.
That's all I'm trying to say. Don't be like,
No, absolutely. No,
You-
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
I'd say so. I mean, like, especially because, like, it's kind of weird. We live in the society that lasted the longest, right? There wasn't a crazy, like, I'm talking about like the American Republic vibe.
Okay, America.
It's been, I think it's like an objective truth, at least from what we know, that it's existed longest before, like there wasn't like a crazy civil unrest that like completely destroyed the government system they had. And like, there wasn't one that was erected anew sort of thing.
So you're talking about the United States.
Yeah, I'm talking about the,
Okay, so
Yeah.
then when they first formed, they're how old? Like 200 something? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically like beforehand, there wasn't a, I guess, political system that existed
Okay.
for a specific, like the length of time.
Okay,
that-
like one political system.
Yeah,
like in
one political
okay.
system. Yeah. So there's different kings and queens that
Yeah.
still counts as the same thing.
Yeah.
There was like a transfer of power. But there's a difference between like ancient Athens, like it existed for a certain amount of time and then the population went to like a critical mass and then there was a war that destroyed it.
Yes.
And then it became something else, or like the Roman Empire, like
Yeah.
crumbling, or like a huge empire,
Yes.
for instance.
Yeah.
But America's kind of like that today. So we often think that it's just like, yeah, it just exists. It always existed,
Yeah.
like sort of thing.
Yeah,
But it's
America
only a
always-
matter of time where
it's a-
we'll change our tune.
Well, this is what I think. This is like one of those another recurring thoughts. Like, you know, that like where in the ebb and flow are we? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did we already go over the top of America and are we on the downhill now? Like, you know, what's going on? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? You know, like.
So I mean, that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, I mean, especially in the past 2 years.
Yes.
It feels like things are starting to shatter and
Yeah.
clank around, and
Yeah.
it's a little jank,
It
more
is a little
jank than
jank.
it's been before.
Yeah, no, I would say that, especially in terms of like the States, but to be honest, I don't really care too much.
Yeah.
Because just the same reason I know that it's going down, I also know that it's going to go back up,
Oh yeah.
right?
It's like what's it called? To call back to the anime thing, Cowboy Bebop. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. And I don't get paid enough to worry about
Yeah,
all this
there you
other
go.
stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, we just did like 45 minutes, 43 minutes. How was
Man,
it? That was fun, dude.
That was amazing.
I had lots of fun. If you guys enjoyed that episode, hopefully this is still recording. Yeah.
I mean, I'm recording, so
Yeah, you're recording. No, it's recording because the camera's still going.
Oh, nice.
If you guys enjoyed that episode, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment. Also, click the link in the description below. I've been uploading to the Patreon there, a lot of behind the scenes footage and all that stuff. So, If you ever want to see what other projects I'm working on, go check it out there. Where can they find you, Art the Boy?
@arttheboy.wav on Instagram, or just
Sick.
Art the Boy on YouTube.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play this outro music. Peace.
Further.
I'm sorry?
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.
What's up, explorers? Hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a reminder, once again, if you haven't already, go ahead and check the link in the description below to join our Patreon. There you'll find exclusive behind-the-scenes content that's not for the YouTube, just for the Patreon, just for those that want to go that next step further and support the page. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to see, if you have any topics. But you know, topics is for the Patreon members only. So go ahead and check out the Patreon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Later. Peace.